Backstage. I got it on the table.
I ain't finna tell y'all how I got away with this shit.
If I'm more right, that's good business. She look good, but hang with dumb bitches. Tell her I'm way too fly for one sister. And then she leave a priest, I won't miss her. Won't put a ring around it. Oh, no, no, no. Bitches for the street like basketball goals. I always knew she'd let that lane hit her. Won't get a cent from me, I ain't simple. Bitch, now I ain't gon' work it out. I ain't regular out. No, I ain't gon' work it out. I ain't regular out. Use a V and out. Nah, failure out. I ain't gon' work it out. Cause I ain't regular out. I ain't regular out. Use a regular out. Took that bitch back. And she done fed you out. Look how you living out. You look scary out. Can't fuck that bitch right. Cause she be getting nailed out. You won't forgive her, ain't it? You wanna love her, don't you? Just know that love ain't for you. It's for the world, homie. I got some real homies. We don't pretend, homie. ISUPK, 1 West, we kickin' field goals. Let that bitch lead, ho. She got them D's, though. With a little steak and ass pussy, she be going beast mode. She HIV, ho. You a dirty ass skeet, ho. Gon' get that shit up out your chest, bitch. Say what you gon' do now, what you gon' say now, what you gon' do to me. It is UPK, I'm shot too deep, bitch, better Google me. I put these girls all in my training camp like I relieve. I say what I do and I do what I say, bitch, what the fuck you mean? If I'm more right, that's good business. She look good, but hang with dumb bitches. Tell her I'm way too fly for one sister. And then she leave a priest, I won't miss her. Won't put a ring around it. Oh, no, no, no. Bitches for the street like basketball goals. I always knew she'd let that lane hit her. Won't get a cent from me, I ain't simple. Bitch, now I ain't gon' work it out. I ain't regular out. No, I ain't gon' work it out. I ain't regular out. Use a V and out. Nah, failure out. I ain't gon' work it out. Cause I ain't regular out. I get paper, bro. Got my standards up. You a munchkin out. Catching these out. Check my flagrant out. I'm a player out. These niggas top block. Took your lead out. You shouldn't be worried about these broke ass bitches. And don't compare yourself to simp ass niggas. Had to shine a lot of these desperate ass women. Cause they be tripping hard, acting like they different. But a bit be basic, bit be horn and bit be naked. Drinking, faking, stankin', the shame is dirty. Mouth bit be vaping. I don't get too fucks about you. I wouldn't have put no baby in you. Bit be saying they got that paper, look, that let me itch. Done caught the penalty and my energy got me feeling me. Ice hitting on them, these diamond teeth that's into me. And I'm getting right and I'm stacking up and I'm getting to it. And these niggas hate but they can't touch cause I'm bulletproof. If I'm more right, that's good business. She look good but hang with dumb bitches. Tell her I'm way too fly for one sister. And then she leave a priest, I won't miss her. Won't put a ring around it. Oh, no, no, no. Bitches for the street like basketball goals. I always knew she'd let that lane hit her. Won't get a cent from me, I ain't simple. Bitch, now I ain't gon' work it out. I ain't regular out. No, I ain't gon' work it out. I ain't regular out. Use a V and out. Nah, failure out. I ain't gon' work it out. Cause I ain't regular out.
ship. Now I'm one westward, sharper than an ice pick. On you rappers' necks, and it's feeling like some vice grips. Yeah, that's light shit. Send my bro a kite quick. Ties of war, we ain't forget about you. Keep your light lit. Rappers can't see. Most of them scared to witness. Go on, close your eyes. There's one right here for the trenches. Bad bitches, natural hair or extensions. Hood niggas that'll poly grip like some dentures. Brothers on them fences. 23 and 1 out. Praying that commissary hit before it run out. Bitches on the gram, dog filter with their tongue out. Couldn't stay home because they found the dugout. Closed casket, burner in the low jacket. My co-captain, riding on these whole rappers. My hoes fabulous. Now I don't mean that derogatory, but I'm a player and there's no my women riding for me. I avoided Maury. I got 2 jets. If I can't make it through for them, then I'm useless. Sit down that roof, Chris, with a couple bosses. After the war, just to count our losses. It's not many. You see a smile on my face, but I'm not friendly. Going on my waist, sipping white Henny. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on this war in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in this war in my whole life. My whole life. It's so melodic. When I be dropping this ebonics, this ghetto phonics, they got me on the level supersonic. My bomb atomic, and you know where you can find me. Somewhere probably put in this paper origami. My name is pure as the Sani. My wave is like a tsunami. I went from 0 to 100, feeling like Ricky Bobby. I made a deal with the Reaper. Got a couple wives, they some keepers. Talk a lot of shit, but you can't walk a mile in my sneakers. Bitches go to Miami, come home with change features. Now she got a BBL, her ass fatter. Trying to show up all them niggas that laughed at her. Now when they see her, they only wanna fuck her. They just wanna touch her, they don't wanna cuff her. They just wanna come and kick it with her like a punter. Turned her to a runner, now it's all aboard the train. Fenty on her face, but it's not concealing the pain, it's a shame. So I'm in the hood like some rap snacks. I know niggas kill you and your mama for a scat pack. Dark tint, matte black, they do it for half that. Had you like 90s Missy in a fucking trash bag. I'm from Philly, we don't do bank accounts, just cash app. I spit a verse and I just watch the time slow. This that guy flow, this that shit that rappers die for. This that uncut Taha Wall straight from Pablo Escobar. I be at the bar like Moscato. They think it's effort, but no, this that block work. Make the countermeasures, take pleasures, making an op hurt. Light is in the sky, cause every verse is a concert. My mind work at speed y'all can't fathom. Listen to the words of a champion. And Ken, the streets need another anthem. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on this war in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in this war in my whole life. My whole life.
Islam Israel. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakathon. Yahweh Shemal Thumb Bashem Yahushua. This is the ISUPK started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. We teach the truth about the Bible. That truth being that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians are the chosen people of God, and our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Now you tuned in, Precinct Officer of 1,000, Howard Moore, ISUPK, Kentucky. Now, tonight is our Monday night history class. Before we get off into it, man, I want to invite every so-called Black, Hispanic, and North American Indian to tune into our weekly content. Of course, Monday night, you got the history class. All right, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tuesday night, Brotherhood class, talk by Officer of 1,000, I'm a Wonga Bar. And Wednesday night, you got the podcast, man, the baddest podcast in Kentucky, man. The only Kentucky podcast you need to be tuned into. All right, Cry Out, Spare Not podcast, hosted by Officers of 1,000, I'm a Wonga Bar in Asiapium. And come in here, these two priests of the Lord give the biblical breakdowns, the biblical solutions to all of the viral videos going across the internet, man. Come and get your whole timeline broke down. So Monday night, history class, Tuesday night, brotherhood class, Wednesday night, you got the podcast. Now, topic of tonight. Appreciate y'all tuning in with me. But the topic of tonight, we finna get into Harriet Tubman, American Indians, and the Underground Railroad. All right. Harriet Tubman, American Indians, and the Underground Railroad. This is another part of American history that indigenous people were heavily involved in, but as usual, we get left out of the story. All right, as usual, indigenous people get left out of the story. All right, so tonight, we standing on Indian business. We finna talk that Indian shit tonight, man. All right, Harriet Tubman, American Indians, and the Underground Railroad. We finna do a little bit of the history on Harriet Tubman. I'm finna show and prove how Harriet Tubman was not African, nor was it really even possible for her to be African. All right, we finna get into American Indians and the involvement with the Underground Railroad. So a little bit about Harriet Tubman. Now, she was born Araminta Ross. All right, that's a picture of her. She was born Araminta Ross about 1820. All right, on the left, that's a picture of her mama. All right, there's Harriet Tubman mama on the left, and a picture of her little brother on the right. All right, now Harriet Tubman's grandfather, all right, the paternal grandfather, Martin March Ross, all right, Scottish-Irish name. It says he was born in Africa, all right, the son of Absalom Thompson and Elizabeth Bussett, all right, son of Absalom Thompson, another Scottish-Irish name, and Elizabeth Bussett. All right. It says he was born in Africa, but somebody in their family put a family tree together, and it says Martin Thompson, all right, the grandfather, the paternal grandfather of Harriet Tubman, Araminta Ross. It says he was born in Maryland. Now, I'm going to go with what the family say on this one. All right, I'm going to go with what the family say on this one. All right, it says he was born in Maryland. And guess what? His parents, Absalom Thompson and Elizabeth Buss, were also born in Maryland. All right, so tell me how her grandfather is supposed to be from Africa, but the great-grandparents are born in Maryland. Now, how does that work? How is the grandfather from Africa, but the great-grandparents are from Maryland? You got to make that make sense to me, y'all. All right. If the grandfather is from Africa, how are the grandparents from Maryland? Let's walk. We also have Harriet Tubman's second great-grandparents. All right. Second great-grandfather, Anthony Thompson, born 1644, Dorchester, Maryland, USA. All right. Married Eleanor Thompson. All right, we just read about Absalom Thompson. All right, Anthony Thompson was the father of another Anthony and Mary Gilbert. All right, so we have Harriet Tubman's second great-grandparents. All right, second great-grandparents, Anthony and Mary Thompson. All right, born 1644 in Maryland. This is going to be important. All right, second great-grandfather, Anthony Thompson, was born 1644 in Maryland. Now, the colony's legal foundation for chattel slavery wasn't established until 1664 with the Act Concerning Negroes and Other Slaves. So we have Harriet Tubman's second great-grandparents born in Maryland, all right, 20 years before chattel slavery was established in the colony. Now, 1644 is going to be important. All right, 1644 was when chattel slavery was officially established in the colony of Maryland. Now, I got this from slavevoyages.org. All right, slavevoyages.org is the largest database for the transatlantic slave trade. And I put a search together.
All right, in the columns, it's going to be broad region where the voyage began. This is going to be what continent that enslaved people got on the boat at. All right, pretty much where the voyage started, where they docked and got on the boat. And the sails were going to be number of enslaved people that embarked. All right, I got it in 50-year increments. Right, we got Africa, Brazil, Caribbean, and Europe. All right, so if you look between 1564 and 1613, you had 17,227 slaves leave out of Africa. All right, 17,227 slaves left out of Africa. All right, and about 1,769 left out of Brazil. Now, if we go down here, we go down to 1664. This was the year that chattel slavery was officially established in Maryland. All right, 1664 was the year that chattel slavery officially started in Maryland. But that same year, it says 0 people, 0 slaves got on a boat and left Africa. But if we go over here, it says 608,531. 608,531. All right, 608,000 slaves got on a boat and left out of Europe. And that was the very same year. That was the very same year that chattel slavery was established in Maryland. And again, that very same year, 0 slaves left out of Africa. All right, now we got the husband of Harriet Tubman. All right, first husband of Harriet Tubman, a man by the name of John T. Tubman, born 1820, Dorchester County, Maryland, died 1867, Dorchester County, Maryland. And we have his father, all right, Thomas Tubman. And it says he was born in Africa. All right, John Tubman is the first husband of Harriet Tubman. His father is claimed to have been born in Africa. But the grandfather has a colonial history in the United States. All right, Richard Tubman. This is the grandparents of John Tubman, Richard and Nancy. All right, Richard Tubman III in the colonial families of the U.S., 1607 to 1775. All right, having married to Elizabeth Travers, right here at the bottom. All right, this is the family of John Tubman, the first husband of Harriet Tubman. Now, something else about John Tubman. All right, they have him on the 1860 federal census slave schedule. All right, enslaved people were not put on a standard U.S. census. All right, enslaved people were put on what was called a slave schedule. Now, according to this record, it says that John Tubman, the first husband of Harriet Tubman, was a slave owner. All right, said he had 2 slaves, but during this time period, it was common for free people to purchase the freedom of their relatives. All right, and if you actually look at the slave schedule, looking at the same names, the same surname, it was more than likely the fact that John Tubman, being a free man, purchased the freedom of some of his relatives. All right, and kept them on a slave schedule, kept them on a slave census to stop them from being re-enslaved by white folks. All right, so we have the history of Harriet Tubman and the history of her first husband, John Tubman. And we have Richard Tubman all right, fought in the American Revolution. All right, we have the grandfather of John Tubman fought in the American Revolution. And if you didn't know, black folks fought in the Revolution on both sides. Fought on the side of the colonists and fought on the side of the British. All right, renowned historical artist has created several paintings depicting American Indians in the Revolutionary War, including the Oneida at the Battle of Oriskany and Brave Men As Ever Fought, which is featured in the Museum of the American Revolution. So again, if you didn't know, black folks absolutely fought in the American Revolution on both sides. All right, let's walk. Blacks fought in provincial regiments prior to the war, and roughly 5,000 black soldiers, free and slave, served in the American Revolution. All right. And John Tubman, the first husband of Harriet Tubman, his grandfather fought in the American Revolution. All right. So again, it said Harriet Tubman's grandfather was African, but her great-grandparents and her second great-grandparents were born in Maryland. It said that John Tubman's father was African, but his grandfather, also from Maryland, fought in the American Revolution. All right, now you tell me how that's possible. Also, we read that the very same year that slavery was established in Maryland, 0 slaves got on the boat and left Africa that year. But it was some 600,000 enslaved people that left out of Europe. And we're going to talk about who these enslaved people were. Again, we know absolutely that black folks fought in the American Revolution. Now, what I'm getting ready to show you is that these 600,000 slaves that left out of Europe that very same year that slavery was established in Maryland, these were black people. These were black people that were being put on these boats and being sent out of Europe. All right, there was an ethnic cleansing of Europe going on at this very same time period. Why? Because black folks ruled Europe for centuries. All right, black folks ruled Europe for centuries. Now, in this time period, like I said, there was an ethnic cleansing going on in Europe at the time. All right, thus the legends and the history of the Scottish Highlands are both witnesses to the existence of purely black people. Source David McRitchie, Ancient and Modern Britons. All right, the natives here are tall, well-proportioned, being generally black of complexion and free from bodily imperfections. They speak the Irish language and wear as the other islanders do. All right, source description of the western lands of Scotland, but showing proof of black people in Europe at this time period. And again, I'm going to show you that there was an ethnic cleansing that was going on in Europe. And not just the common folk, but all the way up into the royal bloodlines. All right, the Stuart family. The word Stuart is from the Old Nordish word, which means black. All right, if the ancestor had a very dark complexion, the name was likely to become Moore or Schwartz. All right, source, American surnames. We're going to find out where these American surnames actually come from. It's like the name Thompson, which is in Harriet Tubman's bloodline. All right, the name Thompson is a Scottish Irish surname. All right, James Charles Stewart. This is the King James. When people reference the 1611 King James Bible, all right, King James was a so-called black person. All right, he started what was called the Royal African Company, an English trading company set up in 1660 by the Stuart family to engage in the trade of extracting resources and human trafficking along the west coast of Africa. It was started by King Charles II, a grandson of King James. All right, Charles II. All right, South Carolina is named after him. Here's an image of him. All right, Charles II was, in popular language of the day, a tall black man. All right, source, inquiry into the circumstances of the death of King Charles II. We're talking about the family of King James. We're talking about the very same King James when people talk about the King James Bible. Now, King Charles was into it with the Cromwells. All right, you can look that history up on your own time. But I've got a picture of Cromwell, and he looks, you be the judge of that one. All right, while its original purpose was to exploit the gold fields up the Gambia River, which were identified by Prince Rupert, it soon developed and led into the brutal, sustained transatlantic slave trade. This is why this is about the time period that the UK is actually getting involved in the transatlantic slave trade. All right, this was the time period that the UK gets involved in the transatlantic slave trade. And there's another grandson of King James. All right, Charles Edward Stuart leads the failed Jacobite rebellion, 1745, in an attempt to put the Stuarts back on the throne through his father, James Francis Edward Stuart. All right, here's an image of James Francis Edward Stuart. All right, describes James of a light brown complexion with gracious air and a little melancholy. All right, source, James Francis Edward, the old Cavalier. We're talking about the family of King James. All right, now at this point, like I said, we have what's known as the ethnic cleansing. All right, Jacobite Rise in 1745, the unveiling of the 45 Rebellion in Scotland. All right, Transportation Act of 1717 was an act of Parliament of Great Britain that established, regulated a bonded system to transport criminals to the colonies in North America for indentured service as a punishment for those convicted or attainted in Great Britain. Whereas in many of His Majesty's colonies and plantations in America, there's great want of servants who by their hard labor and industry might be the means of improving and making the said colonies and plantations more useful to this nation. Over the 6 decades, the 1717's Act used its American colonies, transportation of convicts, and others helped supply the much-needed colonial labor, in turn increased its production and benefited the realm as a whole. England transported its convicts and political prisoners, as well as prisoners from Scotland and Ireland, to its overseas colonies in the Americas until the American Revolution, 1776. Now, we read a description of these Scottish Irish people. We read a description in 2 different sources about Black folks being in Scotland and Ireland. All right, King James's family were also Scottish. And Thompson, the surname in the paternal side of Harriet Tubman's family, that name Thompson is also a Scottish Irish surname. All right, so what am I saying? I'm saying that Harriet Tubman's family, all right, Harriet Tubman's ancestors were Black folks that came to the Americas from Europe. All right, Harriet Tubman's family were Black folks from Europe that came to the Americas. All right, Jacobite expulsion, 1745. This is from a book called Jacobite Gleanings. All right, this was the allies of the Stuart family. And we're going to read about how Black people were being sent to the Americas from Europe. And we actually have descriptions of the people that were coming out of Scotland, that were coming out of Ireland, other parts of the UK, and it gives physical descriptions of the people. All right, Robert Adam, brown. Dougal Campbell, brown. John Kennedy, Black. John Stewart, brown. All right, Donald McGillis, Black. James Nelson, Black and swarthy. William Robertson, brown. John Thompson, it goes to Thompson, Black. All right, these were Black folks that were being put on boats. Black folks being put on boats and being sent to the Americas from Europe. All right. Again, there was an ethnic cleansing going on in Europe at this time. All right. Over time, all so-called black survivors were shipped off to the United States and the Caribbean islands as slaves and servants, and Europe was thus cleansed of all black people. All right. See, the black folks you see in Europe today are not descendants of these older bloodlines. All right. The majority of black folks in Europe today came from Jamaica, other parts of the Caribbean, to rebuild up Europe after the First and Second World Wars. All right, the black folks you see in Europe today mainly come from Jamaica and other parts of the Caribbean, and were sent to Europe after the First and Second World Wars to help rebuild. All right, but the original black inhabitants of Europe were sent to the Americas to be slaves and servants. Again, it was the ethnic cleansing that was going on at this time. All right. And this is where you have the ancestors of Harriet Tubman coming from. All right. Again, she was born Araminta Ross, which is a Scottish Irish name. And her paternal lineage is Thompson, which is also a Scottish Irish name. And again, her family was in Maryland 20 years before slavery was even established in the colony. All right. A quote from Harriet Tubman: "When I found I had crossed that line, I looked at my hands to see if I was the same person. There was such a glory over everything. The sun came like gold through the trees, and over the fields, I felt like I was in heaven." All right, so now we got Harriet Tubman's Underground Railroad. And she was freeing slaves out of Maryland, out of Delaware, all right, and taking them further north in the free areas. All right. Because it's a misconception. It's a misconception that our good sister Harriet Tubman was running slaves out of the deep south, and that's just not true. All right, this is where her Underground Railroad went through. All right, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey. All right, upstate New York. You have Canada over here. All right, this was her route. All right. However, biased Northern writers and other revisionist historians began using the labels slave states for the South and free states for the North, while ignoring the fact that 20% of slaves were held in these northern states. All right, that's another big misconception about history, that the southern states were the slave states. All right, New York barely abolished slavery in 1791. All right, Delaware and New Jersey were two of the last states to abolish slavery. All right, after Juneteenth and the end of the Civil War, Delaware took no action to make slavery unlawful. Those enslaved in Delaware remained in bondage until December of 1865, when the 13th Amendment was ratified. All right, Delaware and New Jersey were the last two states to abolish slavery. All right, New Jersey doesn't abolish slavery until January of 1866. All right, the Underground Railroad. Underground Railroad, again, it's a part of indigenous American history. And as usual, like with everything else, we get left out of the story. All right, the Underground Railroad's roots heavily overlap with and utilize existing American Indian trails, paths, and territories. All right, the Underground Railroad was Indian territory. The Underground Railroad was Indian country. All right, so you can't talk the Underground Railroad without talking the American Indian, without talking the indigenous people. All right, Native Americans who assisted in the Underground Railroad. Let's walk. Evidence points to Black American individuals, families, and even larger parties who sought and received the assistance of indigenous people while traveling in the hopes of reaching free territories. Thus far, discoveries of written and oral evidence of such activity predominate in the Midwest and Great Lake region. All right, Black Americans seeking to cross the Ohio River and then the Canadian border from various points were moving through the territory still occupied and controlled by indigenous people like the Tuscarora. All right, you can't talk the Underground Railroad without talking the American Indian. All right, Black Americans seeking to cross the Ohio River and eventually the Canadian border were moving through territory still occupied by indigenous people like the Tuscarora. Well, here's your Tuscarora. Here's your Tuscarora. Again, as usual, the indigenous people get left out of the story. All right, here's your Tuscarora. All right, uncovering tribal connection to the Underground Railroad. Let's walk. An important example of Black and Indian cooperation was the Indian-operated Underground Railroad. Again, you can't talk this talk. You can't talk this talk in my backyard. You can't talk this talk in my backyard. All right, Indian-operated Underground Railroad. Source, Atlas of Great Lakes Indian History. Indigenous American assistance to freedom. Freedom seekers crossing through the Midwest or seeking sanctuary in Indian villages in the region has largely been erased from Underground Railroad studies. All right, it has been purposely erased from Underground Railroad stories. All right, indigenous American assistance from freedom seekers to cross through the Midwest or seeking sanctuary in Indian villages in the region has been largely erased from Underground Railroad studies. There's one primary reason for the absence of indigenous Americans in the history of the Underground Railroad. Local histories, including a large volume of county histories produced across the Midwest in the 19th century, early 20th century, start the clock with white settlement, ignoring indigenous contributions generally, and particularly those after the War of 1812. In fact, most of these county histories make it seem as if indigenous Americans disappeared from the lower Midwest by the end of the war. Investigations of county histories for nearly 24 counties in Northwest Ohio, an area where American Indians were the primary population group until the 1830s, shows that they were largely excluded from this later history. Again, we're being purposely erased from the story in our own backyard. All right, while the Underground Railroad is mentioned, it consists of white settlers aiding anonymous freedom seekers and is completely a post-settlement phenomenon. As a result, the interaction of freedom seekers and American Indians in communities across the Midwest has been obscured. All right, we have been purposely written out of the story in our own backyard. As a result, the interaction of freedom seekers and American Indians in communities across the Midwest has been obscured. But you can't leave us out the story. You can't leave us out the story. Because I'm going to talk that talk. All right, the object of this project is to trace the routes used by indigenous people and Black Americans as they engaged in self-liberation across North Carolina. See, it's a big misconception that white folks gave us freedom. It's a big misconception that white folks gave us freedom. All right, the objective is to trace the routes used by indigenous people and Black Americans as they engage in self-liberation in North Carolina and Virginia. The project provides a starting point for access to information focused on the role of North Carolina and Virginia tribes in assisting enslaved people to freedom. All right. This is a starting point for access to information focused on the role of North Carolina and Virginia tribes in assisting enslaved Black American freedom seekers in escaping on the Underground Railroad. The earliest mention of the Underground Railroad was 1831. American Indians were assisting enslaved people in escaping to freedom before this network was created. The earliest mention of the Underground Railroad, 1831. American Indians were assisting enslaved people in escaping to freedom before this network was created. This project recognized how indigenous people were helpers who gave sanctuary to runaway enslaved people prior to the existence of the Underground Railroad and during its existence. All right, this is an American story. This is an American story. And you can't tell an American story without the indigenous people. This is an American story, and you can't tell an American story without its indigenous people. All right, uncovering the tribal connection to the Underground Railroad. All right, you have to talk about the American Indian when you're talking about American business. All right, and again, as usual, it's another American story that we're left out of. This is another American story that we're left out of. All right, let's drop that. Let's get into the Bible. Start with the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 33. Jeremiah 50, verse 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. All right, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. Now, in the Bible, the kingdom split into two kingdoms. You had the northern tribes of Israel, and you had the southern tribes of Judah. All right? You have your northern kingdom, your tribes of Israel, your so-called indigenous people, and you have the children of Judah, the southern kingdom. All right, the people that came to the Americas that were victims of the transatlantic slave trade, either coming out of Africa or coming out of Europe, like we talked about earlier. All right, and all that took them captives held them fast, and they refused to let them go. We just read that two of the last states to abolish slavery were Delaware and New Jersey. Delaware in December 1865, New Jersey in January 1866. All right, and all of them that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. All right, let's drop that last scripture, Ezekiel 37 and 19. Say unto them, saith the Lord God, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and I will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand. All right, so Ephraim is the head tribe of the northern kingdom. All right, the head tribe of all the tribes of Israel. All right, and Israel, of course, being the indigenous people of the Americas. And it says, I will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah. All right, the stick of Judah, or the southern kingdom again, we're talking about the Lord's people that were victims of the transatlantic slave trade, either coming to the Americas from the west coast of Africa or coming to the Americas out of Europe during Europe's ethnic cleansing. All right, and they shall be one in mine hand. All right, these two kingdoms, the Lord is going to join together again. All right. And that's only happening in the ISUPK and the Commanding General, Johanna. All right. You're only seeing black and brown unity in the ISUPK and the Commanding General, Johanna. You're not seeing real black and brown unity nowhere else. All right. So let's drop that. And before we end it, we'll do a quote. The most effective way to destroy a people is to deny and obliterate their own understanding of their history. The most effective way to destroy a people is to deny and obliterate their own understanding of history. All right. The history of enslaved people coming out of Europe has been obliterated from our history. The fact that black folks were being kicked out of Europe in the 16 and 1700s and brought to the colonies in the Americas, that's been obliterated from our history. All right. The indigenous role in the transatlantic slave trade has been obliterated from our history. All right, so let's drop that. All right, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Appreciate y'all soaking up some of this game. Of course, every Monday, Lord willing, got the history class 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tuesday night, brotherhood class 7 to 9, taught by Officer of 1,000. I'm a Wonga boy. And Wednesday night, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., Cry Out, Spare Not podcast hosted by Officers of 1,000. I'm a Wonga boy and ISUPK. All right, with that, we'll do one courtesy salute. Shalom. Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shabbarakatham, Yahweh Shemalatham, Bashim, Yahweh Shah. Class dismissed.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So then you said that they put millions of my people. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe the slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood, Slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words, ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Von Dale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bitch. Dish served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear shooters. That was designed fire for our babies to pass through it. And the damn, my king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
These motherfuckers got scraps too, don't get caught lacking. Y'all seen these old cowboy movies, you go to the bar, nigga, you about to get tried. You go out in the bar, you got there drinking with your brothers and that shit, then you about to get tried out here, but don't be caught lacking, don't kill your brother off some bullshit, man. Don't hurt your people, man. This is for protection only, man. I got family out this bitch, man. I got brothers out this bitch, I gotta protect. Somebody trying to run up on us, we lacking, what we gonna do, fight him? Fight a nigga with a machine gun? Now we're gonna bust your ass. We'll cut your head out and bring it back to the Lord, man. UPK shit, man. Hey, fam.
She say I'm obnoxious. Say I got way too much confidence. Say it's a problem. All I do is try to pull a woman. They say I'm a monster. But really, it ain't nothing. I'm just like my brothers. But shit, you know you look better with me, yeah. Girl, you know you look better with me. How I pull up and then shock. I do my dance on them, what the fuck? How I judge, run it up. You call me fashion girl, boy, stop, bitch. Okay, you know you look better with me. I pull up with lines. I'm a judo with a nigga pride. I'm just like a lion. Want my woman cook, clean, fuck, and shut the fuck up, yeah. I got bigger problems to worry about than you in adultery. But shit, you know you ain't going nowhere. Hey, taking my move with the bass. Try to walk to the place. Ice on me, come and skate. You really a hoe wanna escape. Yeah, we up, fish your face. Or outwork me, what you think? Pretty girl, good taste. Wanna know all my traits. You know I'm on attention. I'm James Brown, to the Israel. Bullets long, yeah, extensions. That nigga hate what they mention. Y'all pull up how I'm gifted. I'm Mike Jackson with the fisting. Beat it like I'm Thriller. She say I'm obnoxious. Say I got way too much confidence. Say it's a problem. All I do is try to pull a woman. They say I'm a monster. But really, it ain't nothing. I'm just like my brothers. But shit, you know you look better with me, yeah. Girl, you know you look better with me. How I pull up and then shock. I do my dance on them, what the fuck? How I judge, run it up. You call me fashion girl, boy, stop, bitch. Okay, you know you look better with me, bitch, you basic. If you don't want a South Coast nigga, you chasing ranking. And really, you ain't even damn exquisite. And bitch, you faking. Wanna rush a dog sick nigga. And the picture I painted. And I mean, everywhere I say T. Might give you some flavor. But I guess you ain't even wanna take it. Bitch, you outdated. And you done gave it up for some paper. You just like your main man. Start with 3 damn baby daddies. Spit what you thinking. You was thinking with your damn bars, huh? You the type motherfucker wanna pull up, how the fuck when it fall, huh? Then beat it from the back, no damn attack, it was just for lunch, huh? Dirty damn bot pussy bitch, wanna talk shit on the low, huh? Want this everybody with, cause you don't even know how they go, say I'm obnoxious. Say I got way too much confidence, say it's a problem. All I do is try to pull a woman, they say I'm a monster. But really, it ain't nothing, I'm just like my brothers. But shit, you know you look better with me, yeah. Girl, you know you look better with me. How I pull up and then shock. I do my dance on them, what the fuck? How I judge, run it up. You call me fashion girl, boy, stop, bitch. Okay, you know you look better with me, dance. I don't know, trying to get right with the preacher, probably on the low, huh? What the fuck you talking about, girl? You already know what the fuck we on, huh? We ain't passing down, bitch, but you get right, what you already know, huh?
140, I'm a busy man, shit, nigga. They turn their head over, nigga.
Say what Eve did to Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like Samson, I can't let no holder lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Nigga think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert. Another cop just stretch the nigga. He a demon, this an exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that open blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. Fuck the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spit, and I ain't listening. Is it fact the fear? If revenge was a woman, now I scope that bitch like Jack the Ripper. War, we gon' run the summer. It's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real triggering on them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? When he said something, I ain't hear him, this shit light. It ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain. Free shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, I with that hollow sign, yeah, this the rim accord. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my bread, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
They said free the Palestinians, then celebrate the death of native Indians. How these other races gon' take us serious? They don't. It's silly thinking you can fight oppression with a vote. I'm so woke, I got sleep deprivation. Belly of the beast giving birth to a nation. You know how I feel to have culture and they take it. It'll never be peace, tell them free the reservation. Till it's backwards, they don't know that they exist no more. Ever try reaching out for help and you just get ignored? Pick up vices like drugs, your child fill a void. They get a youth life sentence for a killing, he was just a boy. Niggas poor, what we living for? Life a gamble, it's like 10 or 4. Police hands around your neck, they just hit record. We in war, man, this ain't the norm. But you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know. Mama on the stage crying. She just lost her only son to gang violence. Pops level 4 yard talking through the fence. Have you ever tried to hug your loved one through a fence? Have you ever been hated just because your skin? Have you ever worked all week and couldn't pay your rent? Life a trip, I'm trying to catch my balance. Every step feel like I'm walking backwards. Credit card, but gotta check the balance. I come from where it's rough, that's why my heart callous. They want you to fall weak, that's a war tactic. Look how we live, what's scary than that? What you know about crossing the Darien Gap? Risk your life to live in hell or bury your kids. Either way, we gotta suffer and they just get rich. Life a bitch, why I waste time telling you that? Cause if you ain't a nigga like me, you don't know how it feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how it feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how it feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how it feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know.